In this video, we're going to be talking about how to restart your training after a layoff from the gym. Most gyms around the world have been shut down for a couple of months now, which means you've likely been working out with minimal equipment, or maybe no equipment, or maybe you haven't been working out at all. Now, of course, this means you will have lost a little bit of strength, so the question becomes, how do I get back in the swing of things? Where do I start? I have 3 different approaches that can be utilized, all of which can be applied to a layoff from the gym that has occurred for any reason, and I'm going to cover those approaches in order from my least recommended approach to my most recommended approach. But before we get into the video, hi, my name is Ryan Treadaway, founder of TreadawayTraining.com, where we help busy professionals get more results in less time through online training. If you want more information on body transforming training and nutrition topics every Saturday, consider subscribing. The first approach is to simply start back where you left off in your program. And the reason why I wouldn't recommend this for most people is that your numbers will definitely be down when you go back in the gym, and unless you're a very mature lifter, this can easily get in your head, can discourage you, and can make you hate your training. This is actually why it took me so long to come back from my back issues. I would get aggravated with slow progress, I would try to do too much too fast, and then I would end up re-aggravating my back, and then I would be back at square one. But maybe you're not the type of person who gets emotionally attached to previous PRs and you just want to see exactly where you're at as soon as you go back in the gym so that you know exactly how far you need to go to get back to where you were previously. If this is you, this strategy may be the best option for you. If you do choose this approach, select your weights for your lifts like you would for a new exercise. Start with a light warm-up weight that you know for a fact will be easy, and over the course of 2 or 3 warm-up sets, work your way up to a weight that's appropriate for your target number of reps. The next approach would be to do a modified version of your previous program, which is what I'm doing with most of my clients. As I previously mentioned, you will have lost some strength in the gym. The good news here is that most of the strength that you will have lost will simply be due to not being used to performing the movement pattern of those lifts anymore. As you get back in the gym, as you do those lifts, as you get used to those movement patterns again, and as your nervous system gets used to firing those motor patterns again, you will gain back a lot of that strength very, very quickly as you become coordinated at those movements again. In addition, research has shown that you can regain lost muscle and strength in a much shorter time than it took to originally gain that muscle and strength. Because of this, you can take your existing program and convert it to a single progression model. If you're not familiar with what that means, single progression is simply a method of progression that involves only manipulating one variable of your training. So your reps and your sets would stay the same, and you would only manipulate the weight. So for example, if you could take your previous program and you could take your primary exercises such as squats, bench, deadlift, stuff like that, and you could do 3 sets of 5. And then you could take all of your secondary exercises and you could do 3 sets of 10. Repeat the same set and rep targets each week until you can no longer go up in weight while maintaining those set and rep targets. One thing to keep in mind is this approach will still require you to keep a level head since you're going to be doing the same exercises that you were doing previously, so you will know what you were doing before and you'll still have that to compare against. And the reason why I'm choosing this option for most of my clients is because obviously my clients have a coach, they have me there, and I can kind of talk them through what to expect beforehand and kind of give them what to expect so that they're not kind of caught off guard, and I can reassure them that the weight that they've dropped is going to come back very quickly. One thing you can add on to this approach is to select rep targets that you're not familiar with. If you've been lifting for a while, you probably have a pretty good idea of how much weight you can lift for a set of 5 or a set of 10, but you might not be as familiar with how much weight you can lift for a set of 4 or a set of 6 or a set of 7 or 9 or 13, for example. This removes the ability to compare how much weight you're lifting now to how much weight you could normally do, so you can't be as disappointed in the amount of weight that you're currently lifting. This leads into approach number 3, which is to select exercises that you're unfamiliar with. If you select exercises that you don't have historical numbers of how much weight you can lift, then there's no way that you can be disappointed at how much weight you're lifting now. A few examples of exercises you could try are landmine squat, trap bar deadlift, deficit deadlifts, close grip bench, Smith machine bench, or even something like a half kneeling single arm jammer press. If you choose exercises that you've never done before, the only way to go is up. So instead of being bummed out at how much less weight you're doing when you go back in the gym, you're gonna be setting new PRs on new exercises each and every time you step foot in the gym. If you combine this approach with using rep targets that you're unfamiliar with, then you really have no way of being disappointed when you go back in the gym. Something that applies to all three of these strategies is to not kill yourself as soon as you go back in the gym. We want to avoid excess soreness because soreness is going to decrease your performance, which is going to increase the amount of time it takes to gain back that muscle and strength. An easy way to help avoid this is to simply knock one set off of each exercise your first week back in the gym. It would also be a good idea to slightly decrease the intensity your first week back in the gym, at least on your primary exercises. For example, if you typically go to an RPE of 7 to 9, which would be 1 to 3 reps from failure, drop your target down to RPE 5 to 7, which would be 3 to 5 reps from failure. If you want more information on how to properly use the RPE scale, you can check out the video at the link in the card or down in the description. And one final tip to help you enjoy your training when you get back in the gym is to choose some exercises that you've missed not being able to do while at home. Most people who have been working out from home have been limited to body weight, bands, maybe dumbbells, maybe a decent barbell with some minimal weights. So when you go back in the gym, do that machine that you've been missing. Do some cable exercises. If you haven't had access to a barbell, do some barbell exercises. If you haven't had access to dumbbells, do some dumbbell exercises. Go in there, have fun, be thankful that you're able to be back in the gym, accept that you're gonna have to probably build your numbers back up, and try not to worry about it too much. Your numbers will jump back up quicker than you think. What's your strategy for getting back in the gym? Do you have a strategy that you think I should have covered in this video? If so, let everyone know down in the comments. And if you wanna see what I personally did when I started back in the gym, then you can check out the video in the cards or down in the description. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hate it, give it a thumbs down. If you want more content just like this, consider subscribing, or you can check out one of the videos that will be up on the screen. You can also check us out on the Treadaway Training Blogcast. We're there every Sunday at 3 p.m. That's treadawaytraining.com/blog. As always, God bless you and your family, and we'll see you tomorrow. If you select exercises where you don't have historical numbers of how much weight you... Come on, fly, get out of here. I'm working out apparently. Something that applies to all three of these strategies is we don't... Got it. That's cool.